Hello everyone, myself Binal Patel. I am working with Dr. Bhuvan Joshi at Udaipur Solar Observatory, which is a division of Physical Research Laboratory. In this talk, I will present coronal mass ejections and their signature in decameter hectometer radio domain. The outline of my talk is as following. First, I will briefly introduce coronal mass ejections or CMEs and their structure. Afterward, I will be discussing about CME propagation and origin of shock, which is generally associated with solar type 2 radio burst. Finally, I will discuss CME signature in decameter hectometer radio observations. CMEs are most energetic eruptive phenomena observed in the solar system. During CME, huge amount of plasma and magnetic field are expelled from sun into the heliosphere, which impact our Earth orbiting satellites as well as magnetosphere and the spacecraft at other planets and throughout the heliosphere. Therefore, study of CME propagation is extremely important for studying the fundamental physics as well as due to their technical aspects. Here on the right hand side, I have shown one such CME which was observed from LASCO C2 coronagraph, which is onboard solar and heliospheric observatory. The white circle denotes solar photospheric disk. Coronagraph observes the solar corona by occulting this bright photospheric disk. Observations have established the physical parameters of CMEs. The speed of a CME is radial propagation of top part of CME frontal loop. However, it should be noted that this speed is projected speed on a 2D plane of a 3D feature, and it ranges from 300 km per second to 3000 km per second. The mass of CME ranges from 10 to the power 12 kg to 10 to the power 13 kg. Here the bright structure contains higher electrons and therefore it contains higher coronal mass in comparison to darker regions. Kinetic energy ranges from 10 to the power 23 joule to 10 to the power 24 joule. The angular width of a CME is apparent span from the center of the disk and which ranges from 2 degree to 360 degree with an average value of 47 degree. Halo CME is a special kind of CME which completely encircles the occulting disk and is very important to study the space weather. The same CME, when viewed from LASCO C3 coronagraph, which has higher field of view, it can be seen that a typical CME structure contains a bright front loop, which is followed by a cavity. Cavity is a region of density depletion, hence it appears as dark, and the innermost region is called core, which essentially represents the prominence. Prominence is a structure which is the magnetic field lines are wrapped around a common axis called a flux rope. The contemporary understanding about the classic three-part structure is obtained by Forbes. Here I have shown the model proposed by Forbes. We can see that core of a CME is essentially a prominence. The eruption of prominence and overlying magnetic structure stretches, it creates a plasma pileup and which we can see as bright frontal loop. The cavity represents magnetic flux rope which carry cool prominence material at the bottom. The model also suggests that eruption of prominence stretches the overlying magnetic field line. Because of this, magnetic reconnection can take place between two oppositely directed magnetic field line of the same loop system, and this reconnection causes intense plasma heating and particle acceleration, which we observe as a flare, which we observe in H-alpha flare ribbons as well as X-ray loops. The outward moving CME drives a shock, which is shown here by dashed curve, which gives rise to type 2 radio burst. Let us see an example of shock which is produced by CME. In this figure, I have shown AIA running difference image for 3 different times. We can see that when the CME is near sun region, it produces no shock. At 5:37, the shock has started appearing, and which is more clear at 5:38 UT. At 5:38 UT, we can see a type 2 radio emission, which is a slowly drifting feature in the frequency dynamic spectrum. And by observing with multi-wavelength observations, we can probe the coronal medium as well as interplanetary medium, and we can have information regarding the density in the interplanetary medium. Now, under what circumstances the CME can drive a shock? So we know that when the driver speed is having speed greater than characteristic speed of a medium, it can drive a shock. In our case, for the solar atmosphere, CME is a driver, and the characteristic speed, which is basically Alfvén speed. If the CME speed is having higher speed, then it can drive a shock. The fast mode speed profile obtained by Gopalswamy et al. I have shown in this figure. You can see that the fast mode speed is related with Alfvén speed plus sound speed. For the solar corona, the sound speed is of the order of 110 km per second. So that it basically depends on Alfvén speed. For getting Alfvén speed, the density and magnetic field are obtained from these equations. Gopalswamy et al. Have divided 3 solar regions for heliocentric distance is less than 1.4 solar radii. Then heliocentric distance is of 1.4 solar radii to 3 solar radii. And the region 3 contains the CMEs which are having distance greater than 3 solar radii. Here dashed curve represents the active region fast mode speed profile. The solid curve represents for quiet sun region, and dashed dotted curve represents for solar wind profile. We can see here that for quiet sun in the near corona, in the near sun region, it is very easy to form a shock. If the speed is greater than 230 km per second, it can drive a shock. But for active region, the shock, the CME must have a higher speed of the order of 1000 km per second, then only it can drive a shock. For the region 2, from 1.4 solar radii to 3 solar radii, it is easy to form a shock above the active region, but it becomes difficult for the quiet sun region. And if the CME has traveled 3 solar radii, then if the speed of CME is greater than 400 km per second, it can drive the shock in active region as well as for quiet sun region. And we are interested in these CMEs because these CMEs are more energetic than the general population. Solar type 2 radio bursts are slowly drifting features in the dynamic spectrum, and it generally excites the electron at the shock boundary, and this generates Langmuir waves, which subsequently gets converted into the escaping radio emission, and which we can see as these features. It can be seen as fundamental as well as harmonic components, and it drifts from 0.1 to 1 megahertz per second. Now, this type 2 radio burst can be observed in 3 different wavelength regimes. Metric type 2 radio burst, which has higher frequency. It is from 300 megahertz to 30 megahertz, and this decameter hectometer type 2 radio bursts are observed from 30 megahertz to 300 kilohertz, and kilometric type 2 radio bursts are observed from 300 kilohertz to 30 kilohertz. Basically, metric type 2 radio burst are formed near sun region. It can be due to flare or CME, and it can be observed from ground-based observatories. And for outer corona, I have shown that if the shock is having if the CME is have traveled up to 3 solar radii, it will leave the solar atmosphere and it can travel up to the earth as well. Hence, it is proxy for energetic CMEs, which could be geo-effective. And these observations could be done from waves instrument, which is onboard wind as well as on stereo. And kilometric type 2 radio burst are basically in interplanetary medium. It contains CM information through the invisible region. And up to 30 solar radii, we have LASCO observations, which essentially images the CME. So for our observation, our analysis, we have used the radio spectrographs obtained in DH wavelength range from this radio and plasma wave experiment on board wind and S waves. It observes radio burst in 20 kilohertz to 14 megahertz wavelength region. Frequency region. It is observed from radio receiver 1 and radio receiver 2. It basically from 20 kilohertz to 1 megahertz, it is observed from RAD 1 receiver, and from 1 megahertz to 14 megahertz, it is observed from RAD 2 receiver. For this frequency range, we do have direct observations from LASCO, which generally observes solar corona from 1.5 solar radii to 30 solar radii, and additional information have been taken from WindWave Type 2 catalog. Here I have shown one DH Type 2 radio burst, which was observed with a CME, which was occurred on November 26, 2011. Now the starting frequency distribution. For this, we have for our analysis, we have considered all the bursts occurring during solar cycle 23 and 24. The starting frequency is mainly ranges in from 14 megahertz to 16 megahertz, and it could be an extension of a metric type 2 radio burst. So we have classified this radio burst according to their end frequencies. Here we have shown a frequency height relationship, which is obtained from Leblanc atmospheric density model. It is important to note that atmospheric density model provides a coarse estimation only because the density through which a shock is propagating is strongly dependent on the coronal and interplanetary conditions. Therefore, to fit the observational data, a multiplier to basic atmospheric density model is required. In this figure, solid, dotted and dashed curve represents 1-fold, 3-fold and 10-fold Leblanc density models. And this frequency height relationship suggests that from 16 megahertz to 20 kilohertz, it contains a huge heliocentric distance, which ranges from 2 solar radii to 215 solar radii. 215 solar radii is 1 AU. So in order to explore the characteristics of this burst, we have divided it in the 3 frequency groups, which is LFG, MFG and HFG group. And we can see that we have observations for HFG and MFG group from LASCO observations, and this LFG group is in the interplanetary medium. For both the solar cycles, the occurrence of this burst have shown in this pie chart. For solar cycle 23, a total of 335 events were observed, and for solar cycle 24, 179 events were observed. We can see that there is a reduce in total number of events for solar cycle 24. However, we also note that for LFG group, it contains higher fraction of events which are in LFG group. This result has important implication, that is, where, although the solar cycle 24 is producing less number of DH type 2 burst, but it is richer in terms of producing the LFG events. That means the shock is at higher heliocentric distances. To explore the source location of a flare or CME, we have shown here that the source region, which are plotted in heliographic coordinates for both the solar cycles, and we can see that all the sources are located in the active region belt, which corresponds to latitude range of plus or minus 30 degree, and there is no preferred location for each different frequency group. To explore the characteristics of CMEs, we have shown here the histogram for CME speed for both the solar cycle for all the three groups. We can see that for solar cycle 23, for all the groups, it has having higher mean speed in comparison to solar cycle 24. Also, please take a note, for LFG group, the speed is highest for in all the three groups. To explore further the angular width of a CME, we have shown here a distribution of angular width for all the three groups. Again, for 2 solar cycles, we can note that the fraction of halo CMEs is increasing for LFG group for both the solar cycles, and for all the groups, halo CMEs are having more likely to form DH type 2 burst, which increases the angular width. The larger angular width increases the chance of some region where the CMEs are superalbanic. To explore further the flares properties, we have classified, we have shown here the distribution of events with respect to their flare class. We can see that the M and X class flares are higher in number, and that means the flares were stronger for this kind of burst. And please take a note, for from 335 events, only 275 events were associated with which shows clear type 2 and flare association for solar cycle 23, and for solar cycle 24 it shows 127 events. CME height versus end frequencies. Here we have shown height of a CME at the end frequency of type 2 radio burst. This green dashed curve separates the category, which is HFG group and MFG group. Please take a note, these are observed from the LASCO observations, and they are projected height at the end time of DH type 2 radio burst. And we can see here that this blue curve is a one-fold Lemnac model, and the dotted curve represents 10-fold Lemnac model. We can see that for a given end frequency, there is a wide range of heights which is observed for both the solar cycles. And for solar cycle 23, we have more scattered points in HFG groups, which suggest that coronal density was not uniform in the solar cycle 23 in comparison to solar cycle 24. And also, most of the events are lying within the 10-fold Lemnac model, which suggests that for solar cycle 24, the coronal densities were smooth in comparison to solar cycle 23. So, summarizing the talk, we have carried out a study to understand the characteristics of DH type 2 radio burst during solar cycle 23 and 24, which includes 514 total of individual events. And we have classified these events according to their end frequencies. And we have studied the kinematical properties of CMEs as well as their physical state in the coronal and interplanetary medium. The properties of CMEs and flares are explored in details, which suggest that CMEs are faster and wider for LFG group, and flares are stronger, which generally have higher population in M and X class flares. Comparison of height frequency diagrams for both the solar cycle reveals that for solar cycle 24, it displays a more systematic height variation than the previous cycle, and they are mostly confined within the tenfold Leblanc model. With this, I would like to thank you. Thank you.